Good morning, everyone. How you doing? It is still morning. I've come on a little bit early today. I'm here, so I thought I'd just come on, have a little chat before everyone else comes on. If you want, come and say hello. Just have a little check around. It's Monday. We're gonna have a little catch up, look at the current situation, see what we think about things at the minute. We got QPR on Wednesday. We had a disappointing result away at Charlton on Saturday. uh, just Charlton always seem to cause us issues, don't they? They beat us last season. I think they were the first team to beat us last season. And but anyway, that's game's gone. It was well. We'll talk about it in a minute. Let's just have a little look at the comment situation. See if we've got anyone on yet. We've got 4 people on at the moment. That's good. Let's see what comments we got there now. Surely someone's spoken by now. Not yet. Come and say hello to me, guys. Be the first one to say hello. We've got 5 on with us at the minute. So please come and say good morning or good afternoon. Might be in a minute, I think. Let's just have a little look again. No, come on. Come and speak. We're going to expand them. Yeah, we got Jeremy. We got Jeremy on. Where is he? Yeah, Jeremy Burrows on and Paz is on. Hi Steve, hope you're well. Shit on the villa. How you doing, Paz? Hope you're okay, mate. Um, Everything's all right with me. Jeremy Burrow, how you doing, Jeremy? Everything good, mate? Billy's all right. I think the under 21s have like picked up a little bit recently, haven't they? But they've had a bit of a hard season, really, haven't they? Steve Limes is here. Hi, Steve, from Steve and Sophie. How you doing, Steve and Sophie? How you doing, both? Nice to see you both or hear you both. Leslie Hale's on. It was Leslie's birthday. Leslie's one of my ladies that lift in Spain. She's actually our little record holder at the moment. I think she's got 65k on a deadlift. Um, so it's nice to see Leslie on. It was her birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Les, and we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow, or will it be Sunday or Wednesday? You're in with me on Wednesday, I know. No, you don't come on the early spin. All right, so Jeremy's here, Chelsea at 2 p.m. today. That'll be interesting then, mate. Um, yeah, Jeremy's Billy Borrell's dad. He's Billy's the captain of the under 21s. A lovely centre half. I really like him. I was really surprised the first time I seen him play. He came on for it was a pre-season friendly, I think. When I seen Billy, who did he come on for? Fogarty, Tommy Fogarty. Tommy Fogarty went off with an injury, I think. I think I'm right in the pre-season game. I think it was, and Billy came on, and I was really impressed with him, and I've sort of followed him a little bit ever since. And of course, Jeremy's a mate of ours, so it's nice to see him on here. Leslie Hale, 70%. Sorry, 70k deadlift if you don't mind. Sorry, Les. Just 10k less than that little 9-year-old girl then. Now, Leslie sent me a little thing. If any of you are into a little bit of weight training, I don't know. But Leslie sent me a link this morning of a 9-year-old girl deadlifting 80k, which was like crazy. I mean, shouldn't be doing those sort of compression exercise at that age because it can damage growth plates. But yeah, 80k. She's 9 years of age. It looked absolutely mad, and she had got weight. She got like a weight belt on as well, but it wasn't properly done up either. It just looked just so wrong. But anyway, there we go. How's everyone feeling after Saturday? I'm not. It was like a little meltdown over here amongst the groups over the weekend. We probably, as normal, suffered less than most because we don't. You know what the score is. I don't need to tell you. Um, but like people, I don't get it. And what I'd like to ask today, what I'd like you to do, if there's one of you out there, anyone that booed Jeremy Beadle, James Beadle, uh, against Middlesbrough. I think it was the Middlesbrough game when he got booed. Uh, Come on and let us know why you did it. I'm absolutely distraught at people booing players. Um, And particularly like he's a 21-year-old kid and he's on loan from a Premier League club. It's absolutely awful. Steve Lyons is saying the CD debate is getting out of control. Can't believe all the hate some, noses. Forget it's all about joys and sorrows. I'm just hoping our owners don't overreact and stay true to their plan. Well, there's a few things there, Steve. I mean, firstly, the CD debate. I mean, everyone has got. It's not really a debate, It's more of a sort of hatred thing. And I was talking about it on my Sunday morning little Sunday morning show yesterday, and I was talking with uh, Pete Hannon and wondering really if there's any way back for Jeremy. Not because I think he's probably one of the best young managers out there. He's a really, really clever guy. If any of you bothered to take the time to watch the thing that the club put out on Friday night for his 100th game, but I don't know if there's anything he can do now that's going to put things right. I think if we won 6 games on the trot now and we lost one, when we lost one, they would just be on him again, and I just think it's really bad. Like, apparently I wasn't there, but the players went to the away fans after the game at Charlton, and some of the abuse was awful. I don't agree with abusing players. Everyone knows that. Mental health comes into play here as well as other things. But I know. Well, you can see for a start, like Billy Burrell's dad, Jeremy, is a friend of ours, and he comes on here. When Jeremy plays for the first, when Billy plays for the first team, which I'm sure he will. He's going to have to look at that and listen to that shit about his son. Any of you that have got 21-year-old sons or daughters, imagine it. Just imagine it. Beadle didn't play on Saturday, obviously, you know that. And he wasn't mentioned as being injured by Chris Davis or by anyone. I'm honestly hoping that they've sent him back to Brighton. I really hope they have, because I don't think any kid should have to put up with that. I really don't. I don't think like the manager and the fans should be. It's all right, like to be dissatisfied, but there is a line, that you have to draw. You can't. I just don't agree with. For instance, Beadle against Middlesbrough, people were booing him. So if I'm a Middlesbrough player, I'm thinking straight away any opportunity I get to get anywhere near Beadle and have a shot at him, or we're going to press him, we're going to make life hard for him, because you're helping them. You're helping the opposition, and of course the opposition fans give it them as well. Then, so basically, the lad's got the whole fucking ground on his back, and he's got the opposition players, thinking we're going to have a pop at him because he's going to be nervous, and he was nervous. And people like surprised that I mean, he looked really uncomfortable when the ball was at his feet. Fucking course he did. He's got like 5,000 people behind him giving him shit. I just don't agree with it, and that's my opinion. And we won't have any abusive players in our group, and people don't like that, they can leave. I've got no issue with that at all. But it's not going to happen on our watch. It's as simple as that. Uh, it's We got the QPR game on Wednesday. That'll be interesting. I mean, the thing is, we've still got 30 points to play for. Listen, if we won every game, if we won every game, we would get 30 points, and that would give us 79 points. We would be comfortably in the playoffs, right? So if we got 2 points a game, we would have 69 points. So we're not a million miles away, 2 point. It's got to be really top form, But everyone has games. Everyone has 10 games to play. Graham Parrish is on there, doing great. Hope you're all right, mate. Paz was saying hello to me earlier. Hope you're all right, Paz. Didn't mean to be rude to you, mate. Nice to see you on. Hope you enjoyed yourself on Saturday. I've seen you were off nice and early. And H's big game yesterday, I believe, as well. Lee Harvey, are you, Steve? Long weekend. I don't know, really. It's like, it affects all of us, within the group and the supporters, obviously. The other thing I wanted to touch on was, talking about Chris Davis, and I forget, it was Steve that said it earlier about, like the owners. Well, I think with the owners, people were asking yesterday. I seen a few. Someone came on and said, like, is it legal that fucking this is how mad it is? Is it legal that Tom Wagner is in charge after he's had a stroke? What the fuck do you mean? Is it illegal? He's serious. So let me tell you, right? Tom Wagner is recovering from his stroke. Now people say, well, what's happening? Is anyone like running the club? Fucking, it's a multi-billion company business, Knighthead. Our CEO is Jeremy Dale, and he has we have a management hierarchy within the club. But at Knighthead, Tom Wagner works with Tom Healy. So Tom Healy is like on an equal par with Tom Wagner. They work together. They both have that. You might have seen Tom Healy. He goes in the pub sometimes with Tom Wagner. I speak to his daughter regularly. She's actually at St Andrews. So of course the club know what's going. The owners know what's going on. Tom Healy is nothing wrong with him. There's not like one person that runs Knighthead. I mean, are you serious? I just don't understand sometimes, like people's way of thinking. I mean, it's like, it's so small-minded. I don't know, and I don't know how the owners are thinking, to be honest. Of course I don't, I don't think for a minute that Chris Davis is going to get removed from the club. I don't know. It wouldn't be impossible for me. It wouldn't. Let me say it wouldn't. It would disappoint me, but it wouldn't surprise me if Chris Davis walked, because I think he has to look at things and evaluate that situation like I just did. With these supporters that are on his back at the moment, is there any way back for him? And it shouldn't be like that with a football manager. We were talking about managers, in the past that have gone by in the past yesterday, and and people also, asking about, do you go and watch the Blues? I've been watching the Blues since 1968, right? I went to my first away game, age 10, in 1968 at Halifax on my own on the coach. Right, I've travelled the country with Blues. And I tell you what, people that come and say, oh, we go every week and watch it. It ain't like it was in the 70s and 80s, let me tell you that for nothing. It just isn't. But, I loved every minute of travelling with Blues. I watched Blues hundreds of times. I've never done that, and I remember when we've wanted managers out, it doesn't, it's never ever been like that. I just don't understand the vitriol, and then Saturday and Sunday comes and there's like social media meltdown, which is uncalled for. You don't need to do that. I mean, you can, of course, and listen, the other thing is, if people don't, and I've said it to a few people, I honestly mean it, people say, well, you don't we should all be able to say what we want. Of course you shouldn't. You shouldn't be able to say what you want. I mean, these groups aren't owned by, the government don't own them. So when you say stuff like freedom of speech, fucking phone the police and tell them we won't let you say what you want. Are you mad? I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. You can. There's some groups I know where they're just not moderated at all. There's a group I know that's got, I think, 2 admins in it and no one else, and they've got like 10,000 odd members. So go there, you can just say whatever you want. No one will even look. No one will ever pull you up about it. But it's just not like that here. So the whole point of it is you choose what you do. It's like if you go and drink in a pub, if you think the beer's shit, then go to another pub. It's no different. And we obviously get... and the other thing, and I'll address it while we're here, is... I'm sorry about that. I'll address it while we're here. And that is about comments being turned off. And I had a long conversation with 2 people yesterday. I don't even know why I bothered doing it because it was just fucking ridiculous at the end of the day. I had to remove one of them because I asked them to stop. You know, they wouldn't. That ain't happening. Like, so he's gone. Um, and like the other one was saying, they actually like accused me of removing some of my comments. I mean, why would I do that? All I was talking, I was just telling you what I'm going to tell you now. If you don't like the group, leave. The other thing you can do if you don't like the group is make your own group. Then you won't have to worry about that. Well, you can admin it yourself and you can run it yourself. I forget what else I said to them. But I'm not. I don't give a shit what I say. You know, I'm not removing comments. I never do that. I never remove my own comments. And but someone did say, one of our moderators, Emily, came on and said, actually, like, you know, Facebook removes comments after if there's like a big volume of comments on one post, Facebook will stop comments. Geezer comes back and goes, and I said that, you know, I said, listen, you've just seen it, Facebook turns comments off because they complain about comments turning off. Well, I'm going to tell you why we turn comments off in a sec. Paul James is on here. Doing Paul? Paul's just joined our moderation team, actually. He'll tell you what it's like. This person come back and more or less said I'd remove some of the comments I'd made to him. I don't know why. I mean, I wouldn't. I didn't give a shite what I was saying to him. You know, I was just being honest, and I'll say it again anytime he wants to talk to me. I did tell them both that and DM me if they want, but neither did. But the point I'm making is I don't turn comments off. Facebook do sometimes, but we do turn commenting off on posts sometimes. And I'll tell you why we do it. If you look at Saturday night, right, you get a massive volume of posts. Now, two of those, just imagine we wouldn't let a post like this go. You know, a post came on, and I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter what it's about. But if it's a post that goes on, it's got a lot of traffic. So let's say we have 50, 60 comments, right? Then it may well be that we'll turn commenting off on that so that our moderators can check the commenting on it, because otherwise you may as well not moderate. If you just let it go, you know, before you know it, you'll have 200 comments and you won't know what's going on in the group. And we always keep a fairly strong grasp of the group. Times when stuff gets through, of course it does, but we turn commenting off for that reason. That's one reason. A reason we might remove posts, obviously abusive post is going to get removed and the person's going to be removed with them, but a reason that we remove posts sometimes is that a subject has probably got 4 posts about the same thing, so we don't need more. Now, the thing you have to remember is, and I was I was talking to moderators about it yesterday, you know, we get, I think the last 28 days we had 1.8 million interactions on the group. So, you know, to sort of manage that size and that volume, you have to, you know, you can't just let it go. You have to manage it, and it's a big job. That, you know, that 1.8 million interactions is huge. You know, we have got 20. You know, I tell you, we've got 25,000 members. We have, but we've also got, if we add our visitors with our members, we've got 60,000 people that regularly use the group. It's a big. It's like twice St Andrews, isn't it? So I think those are things that you've got to just, you know, you haven't got to do it. You know, you haven't got to understand us. Just go somewhere else if you don't like it. But that's how it is. I'm not making it up. It's the truth. I never ever remove comments, you know, that I've made because I think, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Why would I think that? I only say what I believe. Always do. I'm always truthful. And you know, people, if I mean, these two people drive me fucking mad. In the end, I thought, why am I even having this conversation? You know. So I stopped. The other person, then I said, listen, your friend or whatever he was, I said, I've asked him 3 times not to continue commenting now, just stop, because I've had enough of this conversation. But he carried on, so I removed him. And I asked him, I said, please stop, please stop, please stop. He didn't, I just removed him. And the other one, I said, listen, I've just done that with your friend. I don't know who, whatever. I said, like, you 3 comments. I've asked him 3 times to stop now. All right, we need to stop here. And I've removed him from the group because he wouldn't. So I'm now saying the same to you. Please stop. and he did. So half the result. Sean Baldock, I was surprised you went that far with them, Steve. And Sean, to be honest, Sean, afterwards I thought exactly the same thing. I thought, why did I even go that far? I don't know. I was trying to but you can't talk sense to some people. It's just you're banging your head against the wall because they just make their mind up. And the crazy thing is, they'll spend an hour telling you know, how much they think your group's crap, but they don't leave. I don't understand it. Dave Pegg, it's interesting that you let people know about our Sunday Zoom meeting and invite them to join us for a debate. I don't think that anyone so far has joined. We've had a few join us, Dave, but I don't mind. You know, and people are always welcome onto our Zoom one. Anyone can come on it. The live one is for members. You know, this one is for members. But we do it. We try and keep it as open as we can, and we're always honest and truthful about what we do. We don't hide anything. Um, we don't, you know, and like when comments are removed or turned off, you can always just message one of us, ask us why, but usually it is for the reasons I've just said. Keep right on. I, Steve, just can't believe when you set the site up, you could have imagined it going down this route. I've watched most of the police podcast and it turned into 45 minutes telling us about negative fans and who's been banned and 15 minutes about. And I'd be, yeah, I'm imagining that what you're going to say, let me just have a look, can't be good for you. It isn't good for my own mental health, and one of the reasons that I started this group was because of the mental health thing that I had, you know. The thing is, I don't want to spend half an hour explaining it, but the point is, it's better for me to do it verbally than it is for me to put it in writing because it doesn't come across the same, you know. And if anyone wants to ask me questions about it, I don't mind, you know. I mean, I'm on here like probably 4 or 5 times a week. You can just come on and speak to me instead of honestly, I wouldn't show you some of the private messages I get. You can imagine what they're going to be like, can't you, you know? But every time someone does that, you know, they go like stick your group up your arse or something on a DM. You know, then I'm absolutely certain that if I've removed that person, I've made the right decision. And of course, when we made the group, I didn't think within 2 years we're going to have 60,000 people. I didn't think that. But we must be doing something right, you know. It's like the silent minority. People don't want to have that fractious, like arguing all the time. People just don't want it, you know. Pat Haslam, how you doing, Pat? Hope you're all right, mate. Hey, Pat, you should be here at the moment, mate. The Astoria up in Lasagna there, they got 50% off Fred Perry's. How about that? I bought myself a 30, just like, you know, like a t-shirt type one, 30 quid the other day. Sorry, 35, I think it was 70 quid, you know, half price. So Pat, get your ass over here, son. Pat loves Fred Perry. Every time you see Pat, right, he has a Fred Perry on. Every time you see him. And him and Flo very kindly bought me a Fred Perry last summer, which is brilliant, which I love. But just, there you are, Pat. If you want a Fred Perry song, get your ass over here. If you want me to get you one, I'll get you one. So, you know, that I like to be able to just, you know, give you the group's position on it because we don't want to be falling out with people. I don't want to be removing people from the group, but if it happens, it happens, and I'm sorry, you know, but that's just how it is. Yeah, Pat loves Fred. I hope he's talking about Fred Perry and not some Fred he's met recently that we don't know about. So we play QPR tomorrow. I might do. I'm a little bit like that about it. A podcast with Mark Halsey, who's a QPR fan, tomorrow or Wednesday. QPR are having a little bit of turmoil themselves at the moment. I know a Middlesbrough fan who messaged me yesterday and said, you know, that QPR were absolutely awful. So they're having quite a tough time. aren't they? But Bury, that 3-1 defeat at home to Bury now doesn't look quite as bad. Listen, I'm as upset and as heartbroken as everyone else after the Norwich game. We've managed to lose 3 games. I didn't think for a minute that we were going to get beat at Charlton. Sean Bulldogs thought it was this Wednesday. It is, mate, yeah. If I get him on Wednesday, I can still talk about Wednesday night's game. Obviously, I might get him on tomorrow, I might get him on Wednesday, but I might not do it, to be honest. Um, I did ask yesterday, like, if anyone wants to come on with me and talk to Mark Halsey, then you're welcome to do so if you're free, like on Wednesday afternoon. Mark Halsey, if you don't know who he is, he's former Premier League referee. He was our referee when Dion Dublin got sent off for viciously attacking Robbie Savage at Villa Park, and Mark had to get he had to get they had to get a police escort out of the ground. Mark and Michelle and his daughter Lucy. Fucking hell, that's only Blues, and Villa, but so I haven't, and I never do give up, until it's mathematically impossible. Like I said, we can get 30 points. If we did, then we're in the playoffs. I think if we get 22, I mean possibly 20 to be honest, but 22, I think we probably get into that 6th place. I mean, forget people keep going on about Wrexham. Forget Wrexham. It doesn't matter. It's just that team that's in 6th place. That's who we have to catch. In the last game of the season, not now. Wrexham have got quite a hard running, and and I keep seeing, I mean, all the time now, people going on about Phil Parkinson, and honestly, like, I hope and pray we never ever have to watch a Phil Parkinson team play football at St Andrews, because 5 at the back is dire. Harry Parker. Oh, your boss, 60,000 visitors just to this group is the perfect answer to the idiots who say you'll never fill that stadium. Well, it is. I've actually thought about that on a number of occasions, and a lot of these people, can't get down, can't get in, can't get a season ticket, can't travel, and I think that's one of those things. Um, There's a lot of people, like particularly people that go away. I'm not saying everyone, like berating people that don't travel. You can't travel because there's not enough tickets. Um, and I don't know, it's something the club might want to look at. I don't know, like a way of letting. I don't know. Perhaps like just make 20% of the away tickets available every game or something, so we can get some new support going away as well. Um, I don't know. That won't go down very well with people that have got on the gold, silver, platinum, and all that. Of course it won't. But I'm just thinking it's a pretty close shop, the away travel, isn't it? But yeah, see, we've actually Harry, I think I did it yesterday. I'll put it into our moderation group. Got 60. I think it's 63,000 altogether. Um, so yeah, you can't argue with it, can you? But yeah, so it'll be interesting as well. I mean, in all honesty, I think I put my team in, or what I thought would be um, my team. Oh, look, that's my cup that is moving. It's like an Ouija cup. Ooh, is anyone there? It's my coffee. Um, I we all have our opinion about who should be in the team. On I would have gone a little bit differently on Saturday. I put a team out there actually, it was nothing like the one that he picked. But that's why he's a manager and I'm not. I'm not a manager. I'm just someone that sits at home and guesses what Chris Davis is going to do. Um, John Farmer, I've always been proud of being a long-suffering Blue Nose, but recently just want to distance myself from these so-called fans. Our strong point was making the opposition uncomfortable, not our own players. I feel quite ashamed of them, of the Boo Boys. Yeah, It is, you know what, like, you know, it is sad and it really is because it gives the opposition a foothold in the game before you even start. Um, so QPR, what changes? Uh, I would like to see, and I would have liked to see him on Saturday, but my guess is he's not ready to start yet. But he might be, and that would be Ethan Laird in at the right back. Paul James is here, my mate, season ticket holder of 3 years, still can't get an away ticket. He says the system is unfair. There's a lot of talk about the system, you know, and it's not an argument I'm going to get into or a discussion. I don't know because I really don't know. You've got people that go every week and have done for a few years, and so you know you think, well, loyalty, you know, you repay loyalty, but the only thing it does then is stop other people going. It's just difficult, you know. It's a difficult situation. It is. There's no two ways about it. But to be honest, Paul, like your mate's quite lucky to get a season ticket, you know, because you can't get a season ticket. So QPR, yeah, um, I've no doubt it will be Allsop in goal. I've got to say though, you know, with Allsop on against Charlton, he didn't look particularly confident in the air. A few times he went, you know, he missed a few balls. Might because he hasn't played recently. His kicking wasn't that great either. But when you're playing teams like Charlton, they're a big team, and I think what Blues did was, I think Rocky was under instructions to hit to go long. Um, and I don't like to see us do that. I like to see us play through those low blocks, but we tried to go over the top of it. And I think by going trying to go over the top of it, it we were giving possession away too much because the ones that weren't going over the top, were going over the top. We weren't really getting onto, you know, via the wingers, and the ones that we were challenging for, you're probably going to lose 60% of those because the defender's coming onto the ball. So I'd personally rather play it out. But you know, obviously, you know, Allsop was under instructions to hit it long. Steve Buddy's saying I've seen loads of comments saying our flair players have had their flair coach test. Steve, I mean, you can't have ability coached out of you. They've only been here 4 weeks. 4 weeks I've been here. I, that's what do you think Chris Davis says? Don't play. The reason Chris Davis on Saturday went with Vicente and um, Dimmy was to go around the back. That's not coaching ability out of them. We've seen how good those players are. I think Solis was back to. Solis was absolutely brilliant on Saturday. So where's the flair gone from Solis? He had a great game. He was our best Blues player on the pitch. Solis was. So how come, you know, what happened to him then? Did he have that coached out of him? Obviously not. Priska battled and battled and battled as a young lad. He did as much as he could against three big lads. I think, you know, that game, it wasn't a game, I don't think, for Marvin Dux. Those three big centre halves. Dux doesn't go in for he doesn't go in for that physical kind of game. So Priska was pretty much on his own there, and I think he had a great game. The two wide lads, I think they probably didn't have the best of games, but you know you're not going to be top of your form every game. I thought Panzo did all right. I mean, what's Panzo done wrong? I don't know. And people are talking about like um, not getting forward with Wagner. Well, the thing is, with that setup of four at the back, three in possession, only one fullback goes forward. They both can't go forward. So Liav is saying I heard some lads saying that on Chatting Blue site. Well, you know, I mean it's just rubbish. I mean, Liav is saying very true, Stu. Tried to get season ticket and you can't get one yet. Harry Parker saying the thing Rocky gives us is his effect on the defenders in front of him. Psychologically, they trust him. I think because he's older and really confident. I don't know about that. You know, what I would say to you is, Harry, if I was one of those centre halves against Middlesbrough, Panzo or Clara, if they weren't confident in Beadle, they were making 2 and 3 foot passes to him in the box. They should never have been doing that, you know. I mean, they were being pressed, and what did they do when they were being pressed? They gave it to the keeper. It's the wrong thing to do, you know. But we could talk about this forever, and the only way you're going to find out that is if you ask Chris Clara or Jonathan Panzo or whoever. You know, I thought he might bring in on the left side of the centre half. I thought Jack Robinson might play last Saturday because he's a calmer head. They have got some good players, Charlton, and I think the other thing that Robinson's got, which I thought would have suited us because we had Prisker up front, was the throw. We don't use that throw that Robinson's got. He's the only one that we've got that has it, and every other team uses that throwing. I'm not saying it's a nice thing to watch, but I think against Charlton it might have worked. Uh, the two defensive mids were the two best players on the pitch against Charlton. The two wide players, all four that played, I don't think particularly got much mileage out of that game. I don't think, my opinion, Duck should have started. I think it was a wrong choice. I think Stansfield would have been a better starter. So there's no press from Ducks either. And then Prisker, you know, I mean, he's a young lad. I think Prisker's a great player. I love Prisker. Harry Parker saying the thing, Rocky. Oh yeah, I've read that. David Pegg, CD cut his coaching teeth, coaching people like Stephen Gerrard and Harry Kane. Did he coach the ability out of them? This is naming just two. I don't. The whole coaching ability out of them is just rubbish. Of course, it's just rubbish. You know, I mean, I'll coach the ability out of a player. So you go right. Just think about this. You're going to coach the ability out of a player by telling them not to go long and to play the game, play the passing game, and to take players on. You know, if you was Phil Parkinson and you said whenever you get the ball in your own final third, kick it as far as you can. That's coaching ability out of players. Harry Park saying I agree about Robinson. He needs to come in to steady the ship. I think Panzo was fine against Charlton, and when the goal came, the ball was allowed to be bounced. The ball bounced. You know, I know that shouldn't be happening from the throw-in, but you know the actual finish was good. It hit just right. I mean, we had got them right under the cosh at the time. I was just waiting for the ball to go in the net. You know, it was one of those games. Liavi saying we're missing Cochrane. His long throws. It was a long throw from Charlton that got them the goal. Yeah, I don't think. I personally would rather see Wagner at left back than Cochrane, Lee. Sorry, but I was about to say, which I started saying, was sorry. Just let me get a little wipe. Yeah, I was about to say that I would play. I think if he's ready for a full game now against QPR, I would play Ethan Laird at right back. Nothing wrong with the Watter, but Ethan Laird is so strong going forward. You know. I mean, so these are the sort of comments you get. Can you name one player in our squad that has improved? Yeah, definitely. Ethan Laird for a start off. Of course, you know the centre, our current centre half, Chris Clara has come on massively. He's a very very. He's a very strong, puts his head anywhere kind of centre half, and I think Chris Davis has worked hard with him. His game's got a lot better. He brings the ball out much better. Ethan Laird is a lot more confident playing the way Chris Davis plays. It's hard to say at the moment because we've got 5 or 6 players that are brand new. Um, Pake has like grown and grown and grown. I think this season Pake is a much stronger player than he was last season. He looks the finished article now. The season we got relegated, he looked lost. Pake did. Um, Stansfield has had a little bit of a poor run. I wouldn't say uh, he hasn't. Stansfield will, will do the business. I think he's a little bit disappointed with what's happened with Stansfield. I must be honest. And then the others, of course, are all pretty much new players. Iwata has been absolutely brilliant with Chris Davis. He came on the last day of the season along with Stansfield, and Iwata his game has hugely improved. He's played in 4 or 5 different positions. He's a much better footballer than he was when he was at Celtic. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So I hope that answers your question. You're probably going to come back and say it's not true or you don't agree with me. Well, then fine, because your opinion's yours and mine is mine. Um, the owners instigated the rivalry with Wrexham. Yeah, I think you're right there. I'm sorry I don't know your name, the keep right on one, but I think that was instigated by Wrexham and by Blues, and I think it earned us quite a lot of money last season with TV interest and social media. But I don't like I don't like Wrexham for a start off. Uh, and I don't know, like, do you want to put up with that kind of thing? I mean, I'm absolutely sick of hearing about Wrexham. Sorry, the owners instigated. If someone said, "Can we ban the word Wrexham?" I'm all for that. Um, Leo Visoni Water was poor on Saturday. The last few games, he's not himself. Yeah, I mean, every player goes through little spells of poor form, and personally, I hope we're going to get like Ethan Laird back pretty soon, because Ethan Laird's an absolute massive player. The other two, of course, are, Cochrane. I mean, he's played out of his skin under Chris Davis, much higher than. He's a better fullback than I thought when he first came. He's improved and improved. Dave Pegg was going to say Iwata shows leadership and defensively in the roles he has been. He's played an awful lot of positions, hasn't he, and played a lot of football. Richard Jones, our recruitment team, badly performed again. Signed players with no championship experience. Sorry, but CG. Well, who's CG? Craig Gardner. Well, Craig Gardner isn't the only person in that team, so it's the thing that Tom Wagner runs is the recruitment system. They run it from Nighthead, and it's a piece of software that Tom Wagner does that instigates. And I don't know what you mean. Why have we been? Which players do you think that we've just signed that, in the January window? Which ones do you think were poor signings? Let me know. Lee Harvey, he's agreeing with me. I don't know what you're agreeing with, Lee, but I'm glad you are, mate. I don't think like the summer window was good. I must admit I'm disappointed with some of the signings. People still go on now like about play Kyogo. I mean, Jesus. So the summer recruitment was a bit disappointing. I have to be honest. But I think the January window was brilliant. I think we've signed some really good players. And I think, if, let's just suppose we're not going to get into the playoffs, which we're probably not, then I think next season, with a summer window behind us, and with these players playing together, these players have only played 4 or 5 games, they can't gel like that. You've got half a new team playing, in the last 4 or 5 games together. So I think that's going to take time, but I think we could be a real force next season. And of course, next season, 8 teams make the playoffs. So I'd always fancy us in a knockout, because in big games we tend to raise our game, don't we? I think we do, except for like the last one at Wembley. But it's one of those things, isn't it? Lee Harvey, Priska, my beef with. Sorry, Steve, he can't play Championship football. Goes missing. I mean, I don't know. Lee. He goes missing. That yellow card it says it all stupid and pointless. This is a young centre forward, and if you think Priska went missing on Saturday, I don't know where you thought Dux was. I'm not sure. But I think you're gonna change your mind about Prisky. You can give him a little bit of chance, mate. He's a good lad. He's a big lad, and we need that size. Makes all the difference to us going forward. Harry Parker's saying Mike Rigg. Yeah, of course, Mike Rigg. I mean, one of the best in the business. Also involved in recruitment and decision to recruit for the future is our model. It's not changing. It won't be changing that recruitment system. And the thing that I like about it, although I did just say I don't think we had a very good window in the summer, I don't. But if you look at the 4 windows we've had, uh, I wonder how many of us can honestly put our hand on our heart and say we've heard of any of those players. And you know something, when you're going about there's no championship players and that, look at what we spent. We spent nothing really. And forget all these things that you see in the press. I mean, a lot of our players have come via loans, are still on loan now. We haven't spent a quarter of what like the beloved Wrexham have spent. So, keep right on. At the end of the season, how many players are going back to parent clubs? Doyle, Beadle. I think Beadle might have gone back. Um, Doyle, is there a place for Doyle in the team? At the moment, it's hard to play Doyle because where are you going to play him? He's not a number 10. I mean, he could play behind a striker. We could go with like a Christmas tree. So we could play with a 4-3-2-1. So the three defensive mids would be the two holding sort of defensive mids who are. I mean, Solis starts every game for me. Solis, Paik, and Doyle in front of the back four. It gives us a few more bodies behind the ball as well. Then you would only have two, so the wingers then become a little bit surplus. So you could have, the two. Who would you pick? You can't play two wingers with that setup. So there's only one way we can play really, and that is, we have to play with wide men because we've got a lot of them. So it is difficult. Past Paris is saying Dawes staying. Yeah, he's got a good chance of staying. I think it just depends on money, Paz. And I think Wolves are coming down. I don't think Dawes would really want to stay at Wolves, but does he want to stay at Blues? Um, yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Paz. I think if we can keep him, he's got a lovely. Sometimes you watch Doyle and you think, like he knocks the ball around, he gets it. The only thing with Doyle is easily knocked off the ball. He has to be protected. But if he's playing with Solis alongside him, but then we've seen him play with Solis when Paik was missing, and we just don't look the same. Without Paik, we lose that bit of steel. What happened was Solis was having to cover left and right, and it made him look as if he had a bad game, but he was doing the job of two people. Harry Parker saying Doyle needs to stay. He already sees himself as a Blues player. You can tell when he's interviewed. Yeah, mate. Don't get me wrong when I'm saying about Doyle. I was just saying it's hard to fit him into the team. Like when Paz has just said he would make a good squad player. I absolutely believe that. He'd be a great squad player if he's happy to do that, and if we want to pay what Wolves want for him. And is Rob Edwards going to make overtures for him to go back to Wolves? I do believe we've got something in place if we were promoted, but we're not at the moment. But you know what? Wouldn't it be amazing if we did? I can't give up, can I? Bloody hell, it's just how I am. Let's have a look how we're doing on comments. We've had a lot of comments today, I think, just to prove to you that we get turned off. We have only had 57. I can't believe that. But we've only been on for 40 minutes. Seems like forever, doesn't it? My bloody jaw's aching. QPR game, QPR play a pretty static sort of 4-4-2 formation. they're low on confidence at the moment. Can't see many QPR fans travelling on Wednesday. This is a game we just have to win. You know, I think everyone knows that. We know that we had to beat Charlton, but away games are slightly different. Charlton are a little bit of a hex for us as well. But if we are to have any chance at all, we need to beat teams that we can beat, because when we drop into points, we drop a point against QPR or something, and number one, put your tin hat on, and number two, it pretty much looks lost, doesn't it? So our home games, we have to try and convert those into points. 5 home games gives us 15 points, and then we probably need 7 from 5 away games. It's not impossible, is it? It's a tough one. Um, I don't know. Anyone else would like to comment about the team for the QPR game? What's your thoughts on it? Harry Parker saying if we got into playoffs and the boyos dropped out, that would be proper box office. Media earnings would go mental. And the boyos dropped out. What do you mean? Do you mean if they made the playoffs or if they didn't? If we made the playoffs I don't care, whose place we have in the playoffs. I don't care if Wrexham are in there or anyone. I think if we're in that mix-up of 4 teams, I think we have a chance. Harry Parker, sorry Harry, I just read that. I think if we get into that sort of semi-final mix, Blues have got a chance in any knockout competition, providing it doesn't go to penalties. Lee's here to say we love Wednesday. Sorry, we lose Wednesday. Got to help social media. It'd be off for all. I know it will, and unfortunately for you, Lee, you can just turn it off like we can't. I'm honest, And we spend some hours on the group. We really, really do. It's like a full-time job sometimes. You can imagine with the amount of traffic that we have. It is crazy. I mean, if you sort of work it out, like 1.7 million in a month is an awful lot of people. It really is. 28 days that is actually. So it's like, so it's 400,000 divided by it's easily 15,000 a day in it. So I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. More than that, it's just great. I was just trying to do a little bit of mental arithmetic that it ain't working. Mark Bay saying yes, if we go behind on Wednesday, I think it could get very toxic. It's toxic anyway, so we might as well go for like fucking full on toxic, eh? Come on, let's get really toxic. I just think sometimes it's alcohol driven, um, but I've never known Blues fans like that. I've travelled away with Blues for years and years. I've never seen it like that. I really haven't. We all have our moans, but not. I mean, booing players is just the absolute pits. It really is, and I don't know what it makes other fucking clubs must think of us. Jesus. Dave Peggy's saying, is there any place for Neumann for any of the remaining games? I thought his game was improving, but the only way for him to come in is either move Clara out of position. Well, he won't be moving Clara. So, I mean, what Chris Davis has done sensibly is he's got 2 right-sided centre halves and 2 left. So it seems that at the moment the first choice right-sided centre half, and my hand looks massive, doesn't it? And it's not. Look, the right-sided centre half is Chris Clara, and the left-sided centre half is Jonathan Panzo. That's the pairing at the moment. So for Neumann to come in, either the 2 left-sided ones have to be injured, and he gets in on the right, and Clara moves to the left, or he replaces Clara. Clara gets injured. He gets, suspended, whatever. At the moment, Panzo's got the nod over Robinson on the left. I like both of them. Panzo's a little bit more athletic. Robinson reads the game better. He's not as quick, but he's got the throw as well, and they're both left-footed, of course. Chris Davis loves the left side, a left-footed, left-sided centre half, and it's understandable, you know. Why wouldn't you? Lee Harvey is saying it's a wonder you got any airlift, Steve. I ain't got much, mate. It's not even, you know. I tend to sort of get into the forefront of it because it's my group, you know, essentially. It isn't my group, it's everyone's group, but essentially it's my group. When really, you know, people like Paul James and, you know, Emily Mould and Bex and Emma and Sean and you know, all the moderators, you know, not forgetting Alan, of course, and Pete. You know, all of us have stuff to deal with, but it obviously stops. You know, the buck stops here, doesn't it? And rightly so. Um, yeah, no, I know what you mean, Lee. Yeah, it does. It does do you ready when you get constant like, and a lot of them are the same, you know, and it does. It gets like it wears you down. It honestly does. You know, it's not a nice place to be sometimes. And it's absolutely brilliant when we're winning games because everyone's happy, you know. But you know what? We get much more interaction on the group when we lose. And the other thing is like it's almost as if some people are waiting want us to lose, you know. And I can't really believe that, but I do sort of believe it. Harry's saying who played when Clara was banned. Did we win? I can't remember either. I think when Clara, I think it was Robinson and Neumann, and I can't remember what the result was. Uh, I was saying to Pete yesterday on to our lads yesterday morning on the Zoom meeting that I think one of our big issues this season, honestly, is the back four because we haven't had a settled back four. I think we've probably had 7 or 8 central defensive partnerships because don't forget, you know, Cashin has played there, Robinson's played there, Panzo's played there, Clara's played there, Neumann's played there, Iwata's played there, you know, and then you got the combinations. It's been a really tough season in terms of that. Yeah, I think it was Robinson. I think it was Robinson and Neumann. Wasn't it? Emily Moulds just come on. Who you know, listen, read some of her stuff, her input. Um, you know, some of our content that comes from Emily is brilliant, and Paul. You know, Paul James puts some really good content out there, and Bex. You know, we have some really good contributors in terms of our own team, and it's one of the people when people get pissed off about us using links or stuff copied out of other groups. We don't, you know, we just have our own content, and it's how we want. That's how we want to run it. M saying, "Are you Steve? How are you, my love? I hope you're all right." We were just looking at. There was a photo, weren't there, in the group yesterday, and it was like this piece of like bottom of a sort of crusty loaf kind of thing, scooped out in the middle, and there was some brown stuff in it. Em said it was pork and stuffing. I don't know, but around the edge there was chips in it, and I said, if I counted them, there was only 10 chips. And I was like, fucking 10 chips a bit tight. And then come back and said, well, I counted the chips as well. It's like, I couldn't stop me. I'm like, hang on a minute, 10 chips. There's a lot of brown stuff just for 10 chips. Matthew Butler, do you think we will see a return of Kyogo? No, I think he's had it, mate, to be honest. Unless we have a lot of injuries, we're paying his wages, but I don't think so. I think he'll be moving on, and I think rightfully so. You can't. This is the whole thing, this is, with this thing about getting on players' backs. If I mean, Scott Hogan didn't miss half the chances that Kyogo's missed, and everyone hated him. And it's all about the person, and it shouldn't be. It should be about the footballer. Kyogo has missed an awful lot of one-on-ones. You know, he has. His finishing's been really poor, and I don't think, you know, I think Kyogo's option has gone. Yeah, I really do. I can't see him getting back there anyway. I mean, at the moment, he's like fourth choice. It ain't going to happen, you know. I don't think so. Dave Pegg, Emily Mould, 10 chips. I know, but I did say to him for the photo, I reckon they'd moved 8 chips out the middle so you could see the brown stuff. Sean's on. Afternoon, Sean. Sean Bulldog. How you doing, Sean? Dave Pegg is saying, see Emily's content all the time. Excellent. Never see Paul James content. Need to check my settings, Paul. Yeah, you might just not be on Dave when Paul puts his stuff in, but Paul puts a lot of content in. He's done that thing recently, you know, your favourite 5. It's a bit of an Evening Mail thing, that, isn't it? Your favourite 5 goalkeepers, your favourite strips, then put in your favourite strips. Should do your favourite away grounds that aren't there anymore. Because I've seen an interesting photo yesterday of Baz and a few other like Zulus, and it's got like Birmingham City Zulus. You know, it's this thing like football groups or something. You know, I don't know what it's called. And behind them was the old supermarket in Bolton. So I put on there like, it's the supermarket end of Bolton now. Of course, that's gone now, hasn't it? Brunton Park. It was a weird stadium, Brunton Park. But in the away end, half of it was a Tesco, wasn't it? Straight away when I seen that wall, and a lot of other people come straight on Tesco's. Lee Harvey saying, good post from Paul and Emily, I must say. Yeah, they're good. And Beck's coverage of the ladies is really, really good as well. Of course, we've got the Man City game coming up with the girls, haven't we? Which will be brilliant. I wonder what the gate will be with that. I mean, I'm expecting 5,000 plus for that game. I would think so. If you're into ladies football, you want to see Man City at St Andrews, don't you? And like, yeah, definitely. And the other thing, you know, we want to get up this season. We want to get promoted. It's an important thing for us. It's a big money spinner. Harry's saying he used to write for the Birmingham Mail. Bloody hell, did you? I knew there was something wrong with you. Admittedly, it was about vandalism and bike theft in Pie Pays, but I got paid. Listen, Harry, you know, I'm not a big fan of the Birmingham Mail simply because really it doesn't give us the support that we deserve. They've got 2 Birmingham Live, who's part of the Evening Mail. They've got Alex Dickin and Brian Dick who write for them, and they're quite good, you know. I mean, they don't put it this way. They don't defend the Blues probably as much as they should sometimes because Evening Mail pay the wages, don't they? It's like, and I don't want to say that they're 2 good journalists, but I do believe sometimes they put the boot in a little bit. Sorry, Sean Adam. Good afternoon, and good afternoon all. As you may be aware, I am one of the people you were talking to yesterday when you was on about the 2 people, who you were having a discussion with, Let's just see what you're going to say. I don't know who the other chap was. Well, you do, because you was calling him by his name. It's Joshua, wasn't it? And neither of us said you did delete your... I'm happy to screenshot. Listen, pal, I don't care, right? I'm telling you now, right? I don't delete comments, okay? And when you come on, when you say you didn't say you deleted them, no, but what you said was, you said that Meta deletes comments. Now, there's people on here now who will tell you that Meta will turn these comments off at 100, right? And the second thing is, you said, it seems a bit sus to me. I don't care what you think, all right? You had the conversation yesterday and I've asked you to leave it. You leave it now, all right? It's entirely up to you. We had the conversation. I've told everyone today what's gone on. I have nothing to hide. Nothing. I shouldn't have even spoke to you for that long. Why did I give you the time? I mean, Jesus Christ. But anyway, keep right on and hope for a strong finish to the season. Jesus. Just leave it, pal. You know, all right. I don't mind having conversations with anyone, but don't lie. When you said to me, when you just said you didn't accuse me of deleting comments, you said, I just thought it strange that Meta, you said Meta did it. I've never seen it before. It seems sus to me. So that, if it seems sus, what do you mean? Would you like to explain? Classic Steve. I don't know which one's a classic Lee. Steve said a million times about comments. I know it's not him, it's Facebook. Yeah, I know, mate. But apparently, like, this geezer here thinks I'm a bit sus and that I delete comments or I turn comments off. I'm lying about it. Meta apparently don't turn. In fact, probably hasn't been on a group that's had such a big volume of traffic. I don't know. Paul James, 100 comments can confirm Facebook shuts us down. It does, you know. But that's the thing I mean, and that's when people, when you talk about this mental health thing, this is the kind of commenting when you have someone say, oh, well, you know, like it just seems a bit sus that Meta shut, that, you know, that Meta would shut it. I've never heard of it before. So in other words, he's just calling you a liar, you know. And that is the kind of goading. There's only one thing worse than that, and that's the laughing emoji and the clown's face if you put a comment on there, because it's about the same sort of level of conversation. I don't hide comments. I never hide comments. I'm saying the same thing. When we reach 100 comments, it goes up. Same in the group. Harry Park, to clarify, if a comment is a reply to another comment, one person deletes it, automatically deletes the replies. Nothing sinister about it. Listen, I think you all know me well enough to know that I don't hide comments. You know, I would never delete a comment. I've had massive fallouts on this group and I leave it there for people to see. I do not do that. Sean Adam, I never spoke to him before. I only spoke to him on that chat. I said it seems strange because every other group I am in don't see comments randomly deleted. I never said you did delete them. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm saying I haven't seen it yet. You said it was sus. That's what you said. So I don't know what you mean by that. You can explain if you want, but to be honest with you, I don't want to continue that conversation. I spent like an hour and a half of my day yesterday. An hour and a half I'll never get back just talking pure shite when you know the situation with the group. And if people don't like the way we work, then just don't be a part of the group. Just leave. It's not a difficult, it's a Facebook group, Jesus. Just go and, you know, go into another group and get involved. Go and tell them, you know. The problem is you probably haven't been in a group that gets the same volume of messages and traffic that we do. That's probably what it is. I don't know why you haven't seen that before. I don't know. You know, I'm just being honest. I'm not lying. Right, Farmer, can we get back to talking? Yeah, mate, definitely. So QPR, we've got to be looking for those 3 points, haven't we? We definitely have. You know, and I think it's a big game for us. It puts us back, sort of, you know, on the edge of that. It puts us back within almost touching point. But the interesting thing with the league, the way it is, and how close this championship is this season, is that 3 back-to-back wins get you right on the edge of it, and it still will now. It's like when we went 10 or 11 games unbeaten. There's no reason why we can't do that again. And I think 3 consecutive victories is going to push right on the edge. You know, I really do. And I can see that. I don't know. I was going to say, like, I can see us doing it. I always have faith, you know, in what the Blues can do, and I just hope that we can. I hope desperately that we can just drag ourselves back into it. I'm not going to give up, and it seems a lot of people sort of have given up. I hope not. Just give me a minute. I just want to have a quick look at our games, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Tomorrow or Wednesday, all right. Just give me one sec. So we have home to QPR, home to Sheffield United, away to Derby. Three big games, and the QPR Sheffield United ones, I can see us winning. But you know, I've seen us winning the last 3 as well. Then we travel to Derby. That's a big game. Home to Blackburn. Shouldn't be a problem, should it? and then away to Ipswich. That's the one I think is going to be tough. April 11th, home to Wrexham. That could be a 6-pointer, couldn't it? When we can see Wrexham are like 5 or 8 points in front of us, we know we've got to play them. Sean saying somebody put a good comment on. The players are scared to have a shot or try something different as they know they will get vilified. I thought he said willified then. I wonder what he was on about, Sean. From the fans. Yeah, I mean, you have to think. A point I made about Beadle the other day was, like if he was going to play at Charlton, imagine him running out onto the pitch and like running down into the Blues, with the Blues fans behind him, but so Harry, I don't, I'm just reading this guy's comments above again. I mean, yeah, we need a strong start to the season. Definitely, we don't know if Beadle's going to go. I think he's probably gone already. I hope he has, just for his own mental health. Harry Parker saying the best time to get into the playoffs is the last day. I think like teams that finish sixth quite often win the playoffs, don't they? If you go in on a good run. Sunderland was sick last season. Dave Peggy saying my score prediction before the Charlton had us on 74 points. That was predicting winning at Charlton, so say 71 points, and I did predict losing at Ipswich. Well, I think 71, I think will probably sneak us in. I still think 69 might. It just depends on you see how like up and down the results are. Excuse me. You want the teams in fifth and sixth to be losing games. Don't worry about the others now. Let them go. Stephen Evans is saying, I wish I could agree with you. Maximum return in the next 3 games, 2 draws, and what? On the next 3 games, 2 draws. What? 2 draws out of the 3 games, or? Oh, you mean 2 draws and a defeat? Well, we should be beating QPR. If you're looking on purely on the squads, we should be beating Sheffield United. We should be beating QPR. Derby's a tough one away from home, but they're going to come out all guns blazing because they want to have a go at us. We work better against teams that want to attack us, but we have to stand up to them and be counted. I don't know. We don't know, and we've just got to see what the reaction is, haven't we, on Wednesday? Hopefully, it's going to be a positive one. Lee is saying, let's hope the Beadle and Rocky Moan has finished as fans wanted Rocky in. But you should have, I mean, in all honesty, you shouldn't be picking a player because the fans boo the other one. I mean, it ain't really the way it's got to be. But I'm not. I think Beadle's had a good season. He's done nothing wrong this season. He's been. We got 2 good keepers, but anyway, like I said, I hope he's gone back. We still got Brad Mayo who can come in as a stand-in if we need him. Paul James saying, I hope they eat their words when he starts for the main England team. Well, I think he will at some point because he is a good goalkeeper. But it's like every player, they mature the older they get. He's probably going to be at the best of his game when he's 25. Rocky's probably gone past the best of his years. But, he's been a journeyman also. They're 2 very different goalkeepers. I feel Bede, I like Bede, Steve, always have. Yeah, I think a lot of people like him. When you get berated the way he has like that, he puts an awful lot of pressure onto a player, and he's only a kid as well. A seasoned professional probably wouldn't. Well, I don't know. Like we've seen the effect it had on Scott Hogan. I mean, it really affected him badly. I just wouldn't wish it on anyone, honestly. You know, I don't care how good or bad a player they are. At the end of the day, the manager picks them in that side. They don't pick themselves, and all they can do is go out and do what they want, what they can do. They can't, like, you know, they're not playing above themselves or below themselves or whatever. Um, I just do feel, you know, that I feel sorry for anyone that comes in for that kind of shit. I really do. Paul James saying, sorry, Sean, they need to think back to a few dodgy games Allsop has had, and they were screaming at him, screaming for Beadle. I just think, you know, like, I don't want to be knocking either keeper, but it sort of makes you compare them like that, and we don't want to be doing that. You can say, yeah, you know, I prefer him or prefer him. Not so, well, he's absolutely fucking shit, and he's got, you know, why would we want to do that? Like, there's your goalkeeper in front of the Tilton, and you're booing him when he gets the ball. I mean, I just do not understand that. Sean is saying, I like Beardle and think he's a great player, but our style doesn't suit him and suits Allsop more. I mean, Allsop's kicking wasn't great against Charlton, to be fair. This passing back to him under pressure and this dangerous game around the box just asks the pressure where Allsop is great with his feet. Also, I don't care who the keeper was against Borough. Those centre backs shouldn't have been playing that ball backwards in that position. Some of the best football I've seen us play is playing out of the box. Some really clever one and two touch football that gets you up the pitch, which is what it's meant to do. But it comes at a risk. It always does. The usual comparisons between kicking and shot stopping. I'd love Beadle to stay, grow with us, but I think it's gone for Beadle with Blues. It's a bit like I said about Chris Davis. Is it, you know, can it be saved? You know, that sort of relationship breakdown isn't easy to repair. Harry Parker saying in one of the Norwich posts, they were saying they needed to get that Blues keeper. Well, you know, and that's it, mate. You know, he did play really, really good. He made a couple of absolutely stunning saves against Norwich, didn't he? That double save that he made on the near post was unbelievable. But you know, it's how it is sometimes. Um, uh, yeah, so Harry's been reading the Norwich posts. Nice one, Harry. Uh, no, it's a big game for us on Wednesday. We can't we can't lose that game. You know, I mean we can. I think the good thing is, and I know people are going to be exasperated by this comment, but we are going to be we are not going to be relegated. All right, we're not going into the last. We usually go into the last 2 or 3 games needing points to stay up. We now 10 games to play. We are not going to go down. You know. And it is quite nice to have that. And I've said it before, you know, I enjoy the Championship more than I enjoy the Premier League. But obviously, like it's where the money is. It's where United want us to be. I've said it a million times. United aren't in it because they love Blues. They're in it for the money, and that's okay because it suits us as well. You know, we're not in it to make United rich. We're in it for our football team. So you know, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's how it's supposed to work. And you know, don't. The thing is, don't worry about United with Tom Wagner because Tom Healy's there. Like I said, honestly, like you know, I'm in touch with his daughter regularly, and everything is cool. Don't think anyone's going to be like, you know, panicking about. Don't worry about United's management. That's fine. And of course we have, you know, we have Jeremy at the Blues, Jeremy Dahl, who's like, you know, I mean, Jeremy's just a great CEO. I think he just keeps his head down. He doesn't, you know, he's not big. He doesn't want the limelight. It's just exactly what a CEO should be. Sean Adam, Blues fans are like every other fans and are fickle. Chris Davis would be a hero to all the sack CD lot if some managers get into the playoffs. Yeah, I mean the thing that comes off the back of that, of course, is also with Chris Davis. I'd hate to see him go somewhere else because I know what a good young manager he is. M's saying, especially when we lose, we get such a ridiculously high volume of posts. We do, yeah, and comments. We have to turn comments off. Yeah, I was saying this earlier. To be able to manage them. Yeah, it's exactly right. I mean, I was saying that earlier, and so we can keep an eye on what's going on. That's exactly what we have to do. And sometimes the comments will go back on. Abuse is never tolerated. So if a post is abusing, then it will be turned off and well removed. Everyone's human, like Em says, and that's a big part of our group. We work with the National Lottery. Three or four of us are all qualified in uh, mental health awareness and mental health first aid, and we do a lot of work for people that suffer with mental health, and it's obviously going to be of interest to us, and I'm going to recognise it when I see things that I think are aimed at people. Like I said earlier, aimed to wind people up. It's not a good thing. It really isn't. Um, Em's absolutely right. A lot of what we do in the group is so we can manage the group. You can't just let it, take the handbrake off and let it run away on its own, which is what would happen if we didn't sometimes turn commenting off. It's done so we can manage the group. So have a look at the post. 90. Oh, we got two. We're going to get automatically turned off in a minute. All right. So you can see it with your own eyes, guys. I'm pretty sure any minute now. So listen, if we do get turned off, absolutely brilliant one today. Not, probably haven't talked about football as much as we could have, but we will be doing a QPR preview either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll let you know. I might get Mark Halsey on with me tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll speak to Mark, the referee that sent off Dion Dublin, and we'll have a chat with Mark if we can. If anyone wants to join me in the studio talking to Mark Halsey on Wednesday afternoon, then let me know, and if I can arrange it, you can come and join us. I don't want it just to be me and Mark again, because I just think it's good if we can get some supporters in, and you might want to ask me a few questions about Robbie Savage. Let's just see now, and I'll tell you if the comments go off, because it'll say at the bottom, look, where it says write a comment, then we can see, can't we? Paz, cheers, mate. Nice to see you, Paz. Have a good day, mate, and I hope the old betting goes well today. Dave Peggy's saying the last one goodbye. Well, it ain't, because we got another one. Look, Del Oliver, hi mate. I just kept away from the site Saturday night. Still 30 points to play for. Yeah, Del, I get it, mate. I would stay away from it if I had the choice. In fact, I was out on Saturday night, but obviously I was on all day yesterday. Lee Harvey saying, was that the geezer you had on before was well sound and clued up? Yeah, that's him. That's him, Lee. Yeah. Sean saying, cheers, Steve. Cheers, Sean. We're actually over the 100. Watch it, won't turn us off today. It will in a minute. But yeah, it's been a good one, and it's really nice to get so much interaction. I mean, it happens so often now. I mean, our Sunday ones now are getting really big audiences. Not actually while they're going on. It's when we put them on. What we tend to do is put them on a live premiere on YouTube, and then put them into the group later as well, so you can watch them from both ends. So that's good. I don't know what your sort of predictions are going to be for the QPR game. I'm going to go for 2-0 for the Blues, but who knows? We could, the Blues that had the 3x4 at home would be a brilliant one, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to hit the Cockneys for 4, but maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. But guys, I think we're going to leave it there anyway. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes we've been on. Actually, I've been on it. We've been on it. Sorry, Joe. We've been on 1 hour and 23 minutes. I've been on. Jesus, they ain't turned us off yet, but that was bound to happen, wasn't it? 3-0 for Paz. Get your money on it, Paz. Paz is a bit like me, just like sort of. Your cups always are, your glasses always are full in it, Paz. Well, not for long. Harry Parker saying 4-2 to the Blues. Sean Adam, thanks all, been a good chat. You might think I'm an idiot, but I didn't mean anything I said as an offence, just discussion and debates. And I apologise if you think I'm accusing you of anything. I don't. The thing is, Sean, right? I know that that on the Saturday or the Sunday isn't a great time to have those discussions. And I know a lot of people don't mean it, but sometimes stuff's said, and once it's done, it's done. You know, it is, and that's it, you know, because anyone that gets removed for those sort of things doesn't come back. And I don't want it to happen. And I get like that other guy, I don't know, you know, I gave him 3 or 4 chances, he just wouldn't listen. So, but anyway, Emily Mould is saying 2-1 to Blues. I've gone 2-0, haven't I? Sean Adam is going 1 each. Let's hope it's not. Let's get the 3 points. Let's give ourselves just, you know, that little bit of breathing space, and then we got the Sheffield United game and Derby. Imagine if we got 9 points out of that, because we didn't think we were going to get 9 points out of the games that ended with Norwich, did we? So, and we did. But anyway. All right, guys. So thank you very much. It's been a fun one, busy one, and I'll let you know when we're going to come back. It'll be on the next day or two, won't it? Definitely. And listen, let's got the right arm this time. There it is. Look, Kayara. There's the Blues badge. It's the old one, but I like that one. I like this one. Guys, thanks so much. Have a fabulous day. Look after yourselves. Up the Blues. I'll tell you what, right? Shall we all be nice to each other? Come on. Let's do our best, eh? Cheers, guys. Thank you.